was a standout at the BET Hip Hop Awards last night for a freestyle rap that really got political. Take a look.
What we got in office now's a kamikaze that'll probably cause a nuclear holocaust. And while the drama pops and he waits for to quiet down, he'll just gas his plane up and fly around till the bombing stops. Plus, he gets an enormous reaction when he attacks the NFL, so we focus on that instead of talking Puerto Rico with gun reform for Nevada, all these horrible tragedies, and he's bored and would rather cause a Twitter storm with the Packers. And any fan of mine who's a supporter of his, I'm drawing in the sand a line. You're either for or against.
Wow. So you can't get much clearer than that. And some people have suggested that this might isolate some of his fans.
That's right. That's why you have to give him credit, because very few people in the industry will go out and say, I don't care if you don't support me. This is more important than my popularity. I have never seen it, frankly. I haven't really seen it.
It was so, I mean, I was actually at the hair salon watching the BET Hip Hop Awards, and the salon, like, just roared when that happened. And it does take a lot of bravery, I think, to put your career on the line and say, you know, we should be talking about Puerto Rico. We should be talking about Vegas. We shouldn't be talking about you. We shouldn't have a Twitter fight with the Panthers.
When
I just thought it was very brave, and we've had this discussion all the time, where people with a platform, should they use their platform to make these kinds of political statements? I think yes.
As long, first of all, I call BS on saying that it's brave to call out the president. It's more brave to be a conservative in Hollywood. I have no friends personally who've been blackballed for their political beliefs. I like Eminem. I always have. That being said, just let me listen just 1 second, and then I really would like your perspective. So I remember when Eminem went after President Bush when I was younger, and he said, quote, I don't rap for dead presidents. I'd rather see the president dead. And he was actually investigated by the Secret Service in 2003. And I think for me, what's so interesting, what I think has helped breed Trump, is when all Republicans are Nazis and the worst and awful, sometimes if you cry wolf hard enough, the wolf will eventually show up in one form or another. And I would be curious, if Mike Pence were president, would some of these people who have all these problems still have the same problems with him that they do with Trump?
We don't know.
I don't know, but I will say this. You know, people, when they speak their mind as themselves, it is a brave move, because it's very dangerous, and people will take you out. People will come up and spit on you, hit you, yell at you, kick you.
But it's more socially acceptable to be liberal in Hollywood than it is to be conservative.
It's actually not acceptable to be. Here's the thing. Hollywood started out as a very, as you know, very right-wing sort of area. That's why all of the stuff with Dalton Trumbo happened, because people were concerned about communists and all kinds of stuff, and then we had the blacklist and all that kind of stuff. Then it made a shift, and it went to the left. And so Hollywood fluctuates depending on who is in. And when I say who is in, I don't mean who's in office, it's who's in style. Okay? So that, and having spent a great deal of time there and knowing as much about Hollywood history, if you're curious as to how it has fluctuated in the last 50 years, all you have to do is pick up a couple of books on Amazon. That's what I can tell you.
The thing about Eminem, can I just say something about Eminem? The reason I think he's so brave is because he has something to lose. Now, you talked about people in politics. This guy, Bob Corker, who's retiring, is now saying that Trump is leading us to World War III. And there is radio silence from the Republican Party, basically.
That's not true.
Oh, really? Tell me who else.
Well, first of all, we are talking about, at the moment, you're hedging a moment. I would like to say, just going off this, I lived in Los Angeles for a year and a half working on another show, and I have never been more harassed for being a Republican than I was in the time that I lived there. So maybe it's a different kind of place. I've never felt that way in New York City. I've never felt that place any place else. But I will say that
New York
it is brave. All artists making a stand, all commentators making a stand. On this show, we all come out and make opinions that are controversial every day. Every person on this panel knows what it feels like. Yes, it is brave. But I am saying that I think when you talk to people like Tim Allen, it is more socially acceptable to be an Obama supporter, to be a Hillary Clinton supporter, to be a Bernie supporter, than it would be to be any conservative
Except
supporter.
that all the conservatives are working. They're the ones who have the jobs. Tim Allen has never stopped
They're
working.
all working.
Oh, shoot.
Tom Selleck, thank you.
Tom Selleck.
periodically the brain
Do you
just
believe
goes,
James
"There's
Woods
life."
that he's retiring for his politics?
I think anyone that speaks up, because the bottom line is every action has consequences. We talk about everything from kneeling to people taking to Twitter when there are risks. Right now, if you don't see people that are being picked on for conservative, you should read our Facebook page, because there are a lot of people out there that when you stand up for something and you put your opinion out there, people eat you alive, regardless
No
of
matter
which
which
side
side.
you
No
are.
matter
And
which side.
so my point being that for every action there is a consequence, and when you're talking about a popular artist whose income is based on these people purchasing his stuff, and he's willing to say, I'm going to draw this line in the sand, which means I will feel this possibly in sales, but it's that important.
And that's the thing. I think D.L. Hughley said it best. When you give voice to the minority, you run the risk of offending the majority. And that happens all the time. And that's what's going to happen to Eminem. It happens to me. It happens to all
I would
of
like
us.
to say, though, on a side note, that Eminem gave my father a very nice shout out in that song. So it's a little awkward to be saying that, too, which I'm, pleased about. But I will say in most areas he did. And and I love Eminem. I mean, like all children of the 90s, I love Eminem. But most conservatives get one person on every panel other than on Fox News. So there is an element of minority to being a conservative in mainstream anything. We may disagree on it. I don't obviously know Hollywood
Trust me, I've
history
been a
in the same
minority my
experience
whole
that
life.
you
But
have.
not the only one that has
kind of interesting
experienced
'cause
that.
You would be surprised to find out how much of the fluctuation has gone on. I'll give you some books.
By all
It'll be fun.
means.
We'll be right back, as always.
Thank you, God bless you, and God bless America.